Jason?
I just started the recording, so we're all set whenever you are.
All right, who was that speaking?
I'm Jennifer Rexter. I'm taking the minutes for the board
Okay,
meeting today.
Okay, Jennifer. All right, so we'll begin the meeting, the June 1st, 2023 Fire Protection Board meeting, called to order. And first order of business is the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes. Second.
Discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, passed unanimously. Comments? Are there any comments or concerns from persons present today? Hearing none. DCP investigative report.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Since our last meeting, for the report cycle, January 1st of 2023 to,
Janine, I can hardly hear you.
okay, let's try this. Is this better, sir?
A little bit, but like I say, I'll just get closer to my speaker.
I was just going to say, I could hear it fine, Dave. Maybe it's your volume, Dave.
All right, let me check that. All right. It's up, but all right, go ahead.
Okay. For the report cycle, January 1st, 2023 through February 28th of 2023, the department did not receive any new fire protection sprinkler complaints. It also did not close any files that we had previously. For the report cycle, March 1st of 2023 through April 30th of 2023, we did not receive any new fire sprinkler complaints, and none were closed during that time frame. Today is June 1st, and I will be running the next 2-month series of reports today, which will go from May 1st. No, I'll do it July because this is May through June. So, but I will say this, that we are out doing inspections with the 2 new inspectors, so that we are out in the field more, or at least attempting to. But the converse with that is if we're out in the field doing inspections more, and we find violations, it increases our caseload, but it's also not stopping the other complaints that come in for electrical, fire protection, sheet metal, low voltage, or any of that. But we are out there.
Okay. Any questions from anybody on the board? I thank you, Inspector Hamill, for your report.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
DCP legal? Nothing?
Mr. Chairman, I don't see anybody here from legal.
I just see initials, so I don't know who's representing the legal or legal or. All right. Old business. The only thing I had on old business was the backflow, but nothing's changed on that. So moving right along, new business. Review of application for Ian Rankin.
Good morning.
Mr. Rankin is present. Mr. Rankin's application does not state what type of license he's applying for. But his attorney has stated he's applying for There was a letter from his attorney in F3. Is that correct?
I think they're speaking, but they're muted.
My apologies. This is Dennis McGrath. I'm one of the attorneys with McGrath, Klaus and Associates. My partner was trying to get on. We were having trouble getting on, so I apologize for being late. Yes, we were seeking an F3 license for Mr. Rankin, and it was denied. It was by the board, but we were looking to see if we could appeal this decision on that based on his experience and the amount of experience that he has and time that he has on this type of work. Mr. Rankin is actually also here. I see he's on, that he could discuss that further if you have any questions in regard to that.
All right, so does he hold any contractor licenses in any other state? Not the New York.
Ian, you have to unmute. Up top, there's the little microphone. Click on that so that you can they can hear you speak. There's a microphone with a line through it. There you go.
Okay, you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Not good with computers. Yes, I do have New York. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm registered. And
registered, but
and Suffolk County, I have the licenses for kitchen suppression, fire extinguishers. New York City, I have the extinguisher license. I've been doing this for this November will be 30 years.
There's quite a bit of I'm trying to look through my notes here.
Okay.
There was quite a bit of documents provided, but a lot of it is basically testing and inspecting hood systems.
Yeah. But I do carry a license in Suffolk County for kitchens and extinguishers. I've had it in Nassau County. I don't work there anymore. And the city.
All right, and I don't let some of the other board members speak, but before I do, I just want to say the F3 license holder for the state of Connecticut, the holder of this license may do such work as that work involved with foam extinguishing systems, special hazard systems, including water spray, foam, carbon dioxide or dry chemical systems, halon, or other liquid or gas fire suppression systems. Person must have served at least 2 years as an F4 journey person or have equivalent experience to qualify for the F3 examination. So I mean,
would I be able to do the F4, go for that, and then take the test?
Well, what I was reading to you was the types of systems other than just hood systems.
I'm never going to deal with any other system but a kitchen system. That's not my specialty. I only deal with kitchen systems.
By your own admission, that's your specialty, but this is it's a broader scope that the license covers. It's like, you know, you're saying you just want to do X, but you're covered for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X.
Can I take some classes in those? I mean,
Mr. Waskowitz, can I interject? Is there a license or a sub-license that would only involve the kitchen systems at that point then, or does it have to be within that the one we're seeking?
Basically, the F3 and F4 are sub-licenses because the F1, F2 is an unlimited. The F2 is an unlimited journeyman. The F1 is an unlimited contractor. This is what they call limited. The F3 is a limited contractor. The F4 is a limited journeyman license, journey person. And then there's resident. There's a different category other than above what we're speaking for multi-purpose systems. But like I say, the license that Mr. Rankin is applying for gives him a broad range of coverage, so to speak, of what work he can perform. So like I say, if he wanted to add, but by his own admission, basically he's just hood systems,
Mhm.
restaurant type systems. There is no category for that in the state of Connecticut. So
So unless he gets his expertise in licensing on all types of systems, he cannot do that type of system is what
not
I'm
in
hearing.
Connecticut, not in
Not-
Connecticut, sir.
Okay. Okay, so then we have to actually then meet the licensing provisions for all types of those systems then.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm speaking as chairman, but
Yes.
if any other board member wants to, pipe in and give their opinions of, I mean, that's why, like I say, there was a lot of documentation provided by Mr. Rankin.
Mhm.
Like I say, reading through it and, the statements from his former employers or whatever. That's why I wanted to hear from Mr. Rankin, but he originally, at the beginning, he did say that's his specialty is hood systems,
Mhm.
restaurant, whatever. And like I say, there's a broader scope that
Can I
this
take
license covers.
classes in that? Can I take night school or classes in that?
Well, I mean, there's, in the state of Connecticut, there's a, through the Department of Labor, there is a category for apprenticeship for that type.
Can I
of
go
work.
on some kind of an apprenticeship program?
Well, that's between you and the Department of Labor. We just handle the licensing. Somebody comes to us and say they completed the apprenticeship through the Department of Labor, or if they provide from another state that's equivalent, then our board would look into it as whether, to approve or deny the application.
I
like I
understand.
say-
I understand. Okay.
It's two separate entities.
Well,
The
I
Department of
think
Labor.
that, the NAFED is a little bit of all of that stuff. I took the NAFED test and passed. That's recognized nationwide. And
Which
it has, yeah, I passed
No,
that.
no, which
NAFED.
test did you
NAFED.
take?
NAFED. NAFED,
Oh.
that's not nationwide, and it's on all of this stuff. It's on foam, CO2, everything. I've had that for 7 or 8 years.
Well, also, when you look at the license categories, when you're looking at the provisions that are provided, that are in there, you have so many hours of related instruction and so many hours of on-the-job training. I mean, you appear to have a lot of on-the-job training, but it's just in one specific area.
Well, that test was in all areas of it. It had the foam, the CO2, the dry chem. It had all of that.
Well, anybody from the board have any comments?
Well, the nice test is not viewed here as the standard for being a sprinkler fitter for F3, 4, 1 or 2. So you would have to do an apprenticeship for all those with the on-job training, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, I have a licensed guy that works for me. He does my kitchens and I do the extinguishers. He's been with me for 13 years. How do I go about getting into the apprenticeship program?
Well, and I'm sure that's through the DOL, right?
I don't
Yes,
know.
contact the Department of Labor.
Yeah.
I believe Todd Birch over there would be the person to reach out to. But like I say, originally you were denied application, and based upon those reasons. Further review. I mean, like I say, you did submit extensive documentation, but it wasn't sufficient enough to qualify for the F3 or F4 license. I mean, normally we tell somebody that doesn't have any license, get the journey person license first. And then there's a 2-year waiting period. But if there's a hardship, like say you owned a business, say you were in business, I'm giving an example. Say there was a business, the father and son, father passes away, the son hasn't had his license for 2 years. That's a hardship. the business would go under. So the board has the authority to grant the hardship provision and allow somebody that didn't hold that license for the full 2 years to test for the contractor's license. So that's, I mean, that's about the only thing. But like I say, that we're giving you a lot, or no, wait, if we gave you permission, you'd be licensed to do all those tasks that I read to you. And you just don't have the training.
Really?
Okay. All right, so I think we know how we have to proceed on this then. We have to, through the Department of Labor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I say, let me see. I mean, I'm gonna just look at how this is worded. So we were reviewing your application. I don't know. I mean, that was been previously denied. And does anybody recall when that was?
Dave, do you know if they sent out all that information to the board members?
That was all the information was in the attachment there from Jason.
It was an email, yeah, an email attachment.
Yeah, I didn't get it. You get it.
I didn't
Sounds
get
like-
that either.
Say again?
Well, I said I didn't get the attachment either, Dave.
Oh, all right. There was three. You went on there. There was three items. That was the agenda, whatever. But I know there was. I'm just looking at because I'm looking at my phone. Yeah, I have the information. 51 pages of information was submitted. So it was quite extensive.
I remember looking. Yeah, I remember looking at some, but I see the attachment was on mine. I'm pretty certain, because I think there was some redactions on it, pertinent information. But it sounds like the best way, the route to go is them to contact Department of Labor, and if he has a licensed person that works for him, he might be able to do an apprenticeship under him, through his company. And then you can find out through the Department of Labor if any of his past experience work hours would count towards this apprenticeship that he gets involved in.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I appreciate your time, gentlemen, and thank you for allowing us the time for questioning all this.
Well, like I say, the original denial stands in effect. I mean, like I say, much information was provided, but
So
not
if I
sufficient.
have the guy that works for me, if I can get something under him, because he's been with me for 13 years and I go out with him and I do the extinguisher end of it, and I know probably 10 times more than him on all this stuff. Maybe there's something I can do using him as to help me get in the apprenticeship.
Well, we'll reach out to Mr. Birch, and I think that's actually the best course of action on this one, Mr. Rankin, because it's the direction the board is giving us on this, so that's where we're gonna have to go.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So I'll be in touch with you later this afternoon, and I'm gonna try and reach out to Mr. Birch directly also.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a
You're
good
welcome.
day.
Good luck.
Hopefully, we
Thanks.
provided the information you needed, Mr. Rankin.
Yeah. I mean, I still have a little work to do. It's upsetting because I do have a lot of experience, and I've taken the test for NAFED, and it had all those areas in the test. I just don't service them every day, but I do know stuff about them. Just not my expertise. I will never deal with any of that stuff. I'm a kitchen suppression company only. but I did take the NAFED that has broad of all of that, the foam, the CO2, the halon, all of it. That was all in a NAFED. It was a very hard test, and I passed it the first time.
Well, that goes to the related instruction portion of the license,
Yeah.
like I say, the on the job training is another.
I do have the on-job training. I absolutely do.
Oh, it appears you have sufficient on the job training in hood systems, but not in the broad scope. So,
Well, I did pass a test with all of that. It did have a lot of questions on all of it. So hopefully I will be able to do something with Nelson, the guy that works with me.
Okay.
all right. Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you for your time.
Is he an F3?
He's got an F3, yeah, for like 30
Okay.
years, I think. Over 30 years.
All right. Then that would be the route to go then.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right, good luck.
Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. I don't know how to get out of this.
All right. Well, that's no change on that. Anything else under new business? Well, one thing I have is for some reason, with this new change, well, two things I should bring up. However, with Karen Lehman being gone, we have a new board administrator, new secretary, or how I said board, I don't know. I hate to use the wrong terms. I know they've reclassified people or whatever, but if it wasn't for Wayne, I never received anything. This meeting was supposed to take place in person, because that's another thing I have under new business. I sent email to all the board members. The majority responded in favor to have, this should have been an in-person meeting today in Hartford. Somehow it fell through the cracks. I don't know if the state wants to hear a voice vote. They don't take my word for it or whatever, but I know Keith said yes, he was fine either way, but he agreed to have in person. Wayne said in person. Tony said in person. Kevin Wipachowski said he wasn't in favor of going there unless there was a hearing. And Kevin Griffith, he pretty much didn't care. When I say didn't care, the Zoom meetings are fine with him. And Kevin, are you on today?
Yeah, basically, either at the time of the scheduled meeting, I'd like the option to either attend in person or via Teams. That's 100% dependent on my schedule for the day. Sometimes I can be more efficient by attending a Teams meeting. If I have a light day per se, then and I can make it into the Hartford office, then I would attend in person. But I would like the option to attend via Teams, like I said, depending on my work schedule.
Well, in comment to that, it's one or the other. It's not a it can't be a combination. It's either in person or it's a Teams meeting.
Then
That's
I
why
vote for
Dave, can I
Teams
comment on
then.
that?
What's that, Keith?
Dave, can I make one comment on that? I know being on the codes and standards, we're going through the same discussions, and part of the problem with codes and standards, and it may be part of the problem here, is that the feeling is that because we've been doing the virtual meetings for now going on 3 years now, the problem is going to be is if you do an in-person meeting, we're going to have that option to allow the virtual meeting. I don't know, as far as codes and standards, we haven't come up with any kind of game plan, and the state doesn't have any kind of game plan on how to offer an in-person and the option to have guests and or members participate virtually as well. So I think we need to think about that before, because I don't think we can just say we're going to have an in-person meeting and that's it, because now it's just precedent's been set that people have been able to sign on, guests and whatnot, been able to sign on virtually. So just something to think about before we kind of put a nail in this to say we're going to do it one way or the other. I think there's other factors that need to be taken into consideration. Just my opinion. That's from what we're going through at Codes and Standards.
Well, everybody's been, I mean, well, we, I keep going back. Tony and I have been on the board. We're the old timers here. We've been traveling to Hartford for a long time, and we were accustomed to it.
Yeah,
I feel, not to offend anybody, but I feel we've become very complacent, lazy with this COVID. When we went to this Teams meeting, it made it easy. People could sit in their living rooms or whatever, or you look like you're in your office, or whatever, you're at work, you're in uniform, so you're going to work. But like I say, these team meeting takes the personal touch out of it, so to speak.
Absolutely. I don't disagree. I'm just saying, I think there's more that we need to, I don't think it's just a straight, just my opinion. I don't think from a state's perspective, I don't know if they want to do that or not. I don't think we've gotten any answers from them.
Directive I was given originally on this when he first proposed in-person meetings, it's either, it's one or the other. It's not going to be a combination. So I don't know if it was to put pressure to stay with the Teams meetings or whatever, because I mean, it's like, oh, now we got to find a room. Now we got to do this. And, it's going to be a little bit of work, but like I say, I mean, it's not the same looking at, I look at, I'm looking at you right now, Keith. I'm looking at Tony, but I'm looking at a KG and a KW on my screen. Kevin just popped up again. But I mean,
Mr. Chairman, if I might,
go ahead.
So just to clarify, yeah, it is our policy that it's either in person or on Teams, and we're more than happy to host you in person. We can get a room and prepare. That's not a problem. The reason we don't allow hybrid is the technology isn't there for the communication for everyone to really be able to hear everyone. And it's just every time we tried it, it's just ineffective. But you're welcome to do either. And what some boards are doing is going back and forth. They might do every other or every third or every fourth meeting in person. So that way you get, you can accommodate everyone. So it doesn't have to be every meeting. You can decide per meeting which one's in person, which one's online.
Dave, and if I could say something, I'm new to the board. A year ago I came on, I believe it was. And like you said, there's everybody on the screen. I've met yous here. That's it. I don't know anybody. I just know what certain people look like. I've known Dave for 25 years. So we have a relationship. I think that part's missing with the board. During the meeting earlier with the gentleman for the F3, my teams kept going in and out. I couldn't hear, and everybody's talking, and then it's blaring out. I think it would be better in person. I remember years ago, I would always, if I had a question, take the time. I came in as a person and sat in the crowd and waited till I could speak. That's the way it's done. I think they said COVID's over. They believe this was put in place because of the pandemic. It's over, and we kind of need to get back to normal. And I agree with Dave. I think it's a lazy way out for some people to not want to participate and just hop on a meeting. And I know everyone's schedules are busy, but I think we should go back to in person. And it's also good to look at the person who might be questioning getting the license in person than seeing them on a TV screen. Just my opinion.
Well, I just added, John Messer's been very helpful with, he's jumped through quite a few hoops trying to put this together, and it's, to no avail. Unfortunately, this is a Teams meeting today. But I was also informed that some boards have already had 2 in-person meetings this year. It's like I say, I want to get the personal touch. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's old fashioned, same thing with the gentleman earlier said he's not computer savvy. Well, that's me. I mean, I have problems. I mean, I look for things. I sent Jason an email yesterday. I didn't get the thing. He's look on your attachment. So I looked, there was very fine print on there. I clicked on it, which I thought it was going to come up as a code or whatever. And lo and behold, the 51 so pages of Mr. Rankin's application came up. I reviewed it, and it's the same thing. I mean, years ago, I just give you a little history. Every month, Tony, you can attest to this. Every month, you got a big manila envelope from the state, and it would have all the information. It would have the agenda. It would have the minutes. It would have the applications and whatnot. And I mean, it's they cut the corners by that. So you got to look it up. I'm looking it up on so I had it on my telephone. I'm squinting to see it, trying to read it on my phone because I'm trying to attend a meeting here. So yeah, technology, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's difficult too.
So Dave, if we move to an in-person meeting for the next meeting, can we get the information to update our passes and our IDs and our the security, the parking and stuff?
All right, that I sent out an email also. What would happen if we had a 9 o'clock meeting? You would be informed to show up maybe, come 8 o'clock or whatever. Hopefully, they would make arrangements. I've already cleared. I had a meeting with Commissioner Caffarelli. He called the board chairmen and he wanted to meet, and it was a very rewarding meeting. Should have said that under old business or maybe new business, but I filled out the paperwork ahead of time. Was met in the lobby, went right over to security. They took my picture, new badge, went over, got a new parking pass. There was arrangements made to come into the garage and park. So I was able to park. So they did cooperate that way. So it would be, the only difficult would be showing up prior to 9 o'clock schedule to get all that information processed. But yeah, you would get the paperwork, fill it all out, and come in and get it. It's pretty painless. It's believe me, the building looked like a ghost. I was there in the afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock, and it was pretty quiet. The parking garage was, the first garage that we always parked in wasn't even open. So.
Oh, really?
I came in the second garage. So arrangements would be made for everything. But like I say, I would like to get back to in-person meetings. It's just like, all right, I'll give you another example. These application reviews. There's an application review tomorrow. They call it the ARWG, the Application Review Working Group. And it's unfortunate because I always seem to get scheduled for 11 o'clock. It's, I've got to be at my computer 11 o'clock in the morning, so if I go out or whatever, that's an inconvenience. I had requested to have it brought before the board today, let the full board participate. And I was told that's against the terms and conditions of the application reviews. So, but like Forrest Gump says, that's all I have to say about that. So, is there any vote change? I still seems we have a majority in favor of meeting in person in Hartford. I believe, so the state heard the board and we'll proceed from there.
Just to clarify, are we voting for just the next meeting, or are you voting for all meetings moving forward? What is it? Do you want to just test it out with the next meeting in person?
Well, yeah, let's test it out, but that's 3 months away. I mean, it's not like it's next month. It's not until September.
Yeah.
It's, looking September 7th. So. And Jason, just so you know, like I said, I don't know if you got the email yesterday, for some reason, talking to John, and I said, just for the heck of it, I said, I checked my spam, all the messages, I don't know if, because it comes in under the DCP, it goes to the spam, but the 2 messages that you sent were in the spam account. I don't know why. But like I say, Wayne had called me yesterday about the meeting. And I said, I haven't heard anything. I said, I was, going to contact somebody. He forwarded me all the information that he had received. So I don't know if anybody else had that problem, but again, I'm not computer savvy. Somebody that does it all the time, they would, they knew they were expecting an email, they would go to the spam account or whatever and look and see. So I went through quite a few pages and found the emails there. Hopefully, in talking to John said if you read them enough, maybe they'll start popping up in your regular mail. So after the meeting, Jason, if you could just send me a test message and see if it's it's received, because I don't like being kept in the so to speak, in the dark, not receiving the information. So what's the board's pleasure? Next meeting, do it as a test and go from there?
Sure.
What did you say? It's September 7th, you said?
Yes, sir. I
Fine
see
by
your
me.
camera shaking. Is that your head shaking, Tony?
It's I got my using my phone, my
Oh,
phone.
okay.
I don't have instead of putting it on my computer, it's easier with my cell phone. But the
Yeah,
only thing is, if I have it up here to get the sunlight in the back and it blinds it out, so
yeah.
hold it down to keep it out.
No,
So
I
you can
said I
see me
saw
with
the
my light.
camera shaking, so I said I assume your head was
You see
shaking.
that? You think I'm going into heaven? Oh God, there I go.
Yeah, oh, yeah. He's gone to glory.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, Jason, you heard?
Yep, I actually just changed the reservation, and you should be getting an email with an update showing the new location.
And would that be you taking care of the paperwork, forwarding all I'll call them applications or whatever to fill out?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so a week before the meeting, you guys will all receive an email with a link, to all the documents. But then also, because it's in person, we'll bring copies to the meeting, but we won't mail anything in advance. You'll get the link in advance
No,
to download it, and then we'll have copies there.
It's just, Jason, it's different than, I guess it's getting used to, new administrator, because Karen did things differently. I mean, you always got the attachments. It would say agenda and minutes, and it was different the way you sent it out. So that's all.
Sure.
Hey, Jason, is there a way you can get, can I come in earlier than that day to get my pass renewed?
Yeah, the commissioner's office, probably Aaron Walsh, will probably reach out to you regarding setting up that stuff.
All right, because I'll be downtown now 2 weeks from now, so I can swing through, so I don't have to go at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
Cool.
They can't just redo the old passes. I still have an old pass.
Hey, Tony, ironically, my old pass, was only 5 days expired when I went to meet with the commissioner.
Yeah.
Well,
The dates on them expire, but they're electronic. I mean, they should be able to, disable them or enable them at that touch of a switch.
Well, they do that with the parking pass, but they want to get a new picture. They want to see if you got any more handsome. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
More wrinkles.
Since 1997, I think I've changed a little. Although it's not that old. We only got it.
No, it was probably within the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Back then, we didn't need a pass.
No.
It was a different
All right.
world, different world back then.
Anything else under new business? Correspondence? I believe there's none. Comments? Any comments from any board members? No. All right, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, meeting adjourned at 9:42.
Have a nice summer, gentlemen.
Yes,
Yep.
likewise.
All
Enjoy
right,
the summer.
thank you.
And, let's hope we have good weather and stay safe, everyone.
All right, be good, everybody.
Back at you, and
Great day.
thank you for attending, and we'll see you in 3 months.
See you in September.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.